success requires partnerships. It requires collaboration. In fact, if I may borrow from John C. Maxwell's book on leadership, it talks about the dream and the team to realize the dream. No dream can succeed or materialize without the support of having a team. So the concept of a mastermind alliance is saying build your own team. Find people of like minds. That's the point. People of like minds. Even the book of Proverbs says it. He that walks with the wise shall be wise. Iron sharpens iron. Find people of like minds and then ally. Ally with them, associate with them, build partnerships, share what you know and learn what you don't. And in that way and manner, because there is a common interest in success or in succeeding, we can aggregate and compound the effort of thought, of ideas, of insights, and reap the benefits in far more exponential manners than would have achieved alone. But the key is, are we thinking in the same direction? Are we thinking the same concept, the same principles? Do we share a collective disposition towards how to become more successful, more productive in life? That is what that alliance is about. So I encourage Nigerians to collaborate more. I think we see a lot of that amongst the musicians. They call it collabo. They collaborate more, and you can see how it's helped many persons or many musicians, artists would never have learned about, but they collaborate. So it's not just collaboration in terms of, okay, somebody is higher up there, so I want to just latch onto them so that I can derive some advantage to lift me. You can also contribute. It's a collaboration of collective contribution. Not you being a leech. Not the opportunistic mentality of using others, of riding on the crest, on the wave of others, but saying, I come into this with some value. It might be from my experience or my expertise or exposure, whatever it is. And you come in with yours as well. But think of what we can create together. So we've got to think more in terms of that. But let's transform that capital from our social communal support system and begin to make it look more mental, more ideas-centric, ideas-driven. That will make a world of a difference.
So, Mr. Motivator, it's not just about networking, but having a strategic, purposeful collaboration.
Absolutely.
With people.
There must be an intent towards it. Why network if you won't, one, be bringing value into that space, and secondly, if you don't share something in common? There's got to be some kind of alignment amongst all the parties coming together.
That sparks a lot, Mr. Motivator.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Motivator, no journey to achievement is without its challenges, especially in our dynamic environments. He who dedicates an entire chapter to persistence.
Absolutely.
What does true persistence look like? How can we even cultivate it when things actually get tough?
That's perhaps my best chapter in that book, the one I love the most, persistence. I particularly love it because it was a statement from Brian Tracy, one of my good old friends, that inspired me to go take a look at that chapter again. Brian Tracy makes a statement many years ago, and I stumbled on it. He said, anyone that persists and persists and persists eventually succeeds. That inspired me to go take a look at that chapter again, and I grew very fond of it. Now, you're talking about how can we, or what it takes to be persistent, especially in this kind of environment. Number one, believe very well in what you have set out to do. That's non-negotiable. Don't have feelings for it. Morph the feelings towards your idea, your vision, your goals, your dreams into commitment, meaning that you have mentally resolved. No negotiations. I want to build this business. No negotiation. I want to go into this partnership. No negotiation, I want to write this book. No negotiation, I want to study this course. I'm over 60, but no negotiation, I want to go for my master's degree or go for my first degree. Because that resolution is key to bolstering you, strengthening you for the setback you are about to encounter, because you will. That is what opens the door. That is what necessitates persistence. That is what necessitates persistence. You must first and foremost resolve that, wait a minute, I've made up my mind. I'm going to do this. It means that there'll be good days and there'll be bad days. There'll be days you feel good about it. You feel hippie. Wow, today was a very good day. I felt so fantastic about it. I felt so great about it. There'll be those days. But there'll probably be many more days where you feel so cold, so downhearted, and just wonder, come on, I don't really feel up to it today. But it is that resolution, that resolved mind, that made up mind that will pick you up on those days when you don't have any feelings that are good and upbeat about your goals, your visions, your dreams, your aspirations. Why? Because you've laid the foundation of persistence by resolving from the beginning. So when we resolve, we are effectively shielding ourselves, preparing for challenges of setbacks, discouragements, difficulties, because our mind is already made up. Okay, so there's a difficulty, that's fine, we're not going back. Let's find a way around it.
Being flexible.
Absolutely. Or let's find a way through it, underneath it, above it, or let's ask for additional hands. You watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When you get stuck, they give you lifelines. They tell you, you know what, phone a friend, or try your 50-50, or ask the audience. There's got to be something for you to at least summon to engage that setback in order to keep the journey alive till you get to the destination. And that is also the case. Recently, we've had very difficult economic challenges, significant downturns across the entire space. But I've seen so many people who have continued to pursue their visions, continued in spite of the difficulties, in spite of the inclement weather, in spite of the challenges of people. You're running a business, you employ people, they are proving to be a challenge, proving to be difficult, and then some people leave. You've got to go back and rehire. That's persistence for the business owner. You hire and rehire and fix the issues. You keep it going until the business gets to where it is stable, it is profitable and productive. That's persistence. You failed one of the diets in your professional exams. You go back and retake it. You failed, you go back and evaluate what happened. What did I get wrong? What did I miss in the last one that I can fix in the subsequent one? You see, it is not your emotions that will carry you through those moments. It is that disposition that you resolved from the beginning.
The resolution. Yeah.
Absolutely, from the beginning. That is why Napoleon Hill's work, the first chapter is so central, because it deals with the mind. Thoughts are things. If you don't get that right from the beginning, it will make it very difficult to apply most of the other principles in the book, because the mind then sets its course and says, this is my commitment to success, to achievement, to making it in life, to being the best that I can be. And so, come what may, I'm able to get back in the game after I've taken a beating, and I continue, make the necessary course corrections, and keep on going until I get to my destination. So in the Nigerian context, for me, the most important value that can help anyone deal with the challenges in terms of how long they can hold out till they reach their desired goals is to first conclude that, hey, this is for real, I'm going to do it. And then as you face challenges, anticipate the challenges. You're into sales. Always anticipate there will be no's. You anticipate many more no's than yeses. And so when you get a no, let it motivate you, let it fuel you to go back and figure out, why did they say no to my proposition? Okay, if this was the reason, can I address it? Can I give a better offer? And then get back in the game. Again and again and again and again and again and again. You're learning and you're returning to the scene of that challenge. That's how it works for a salesperson. For a teacher, you might have a student who's struggling. You've tried one technique, it hasn't worked, the student seems to be falling behind. Don't be discouraged. Don't fold your arms and say, well, I've done my best. That's one key deceit that most people fall for. Well, I tried. There's the movie Star Wars, and I got this statement from that movie. I can't remember which of the characters that said it, but he said, there is no try, there is only do. So when we keep on in the Nigerian context, oh, I've tried, that is not enough. You must keep doing. So for that student that you're the teacher, you must be persistent. Okay, this methodology hasn't worked. Let's try something else. Maybe I need to study my student more to understand their capabilities and their interests. Or maybe I need to adapt my techniques. You continue until gradually you arrive at a model that could eventually not only solve that problem, but become a model that could go on to do bigger things. Why? Because you persisted. You never gave up. That is the mentality. And we can apply this. Everyone can apply this across all fronts of human endeavors. But resolve, make up your mind from the beginning, and then keep going at it, keep course correcting, and find motivation from the setback. It should fuel you. It should energize you to say, okay, rather than feeling embarrassed, I'll try again. That's the way to go. That's how persistence works.
Wow. Wow, Mr. Motivator.
And we've got Napoleon Hill to thank for that amazing work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Motivator, this has been an enlightening and powerful discussion. Thank you so much for sharing such an incredible insight with our Achievers Book Club viewers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What a profound dive into Think and Grow Rich. Now, let's turn these powerful principles into tangible action with our Achievers Challenge for this week. 1. Clarify your definite purpose. Take 15 minutes to write down your number one most important goal with absolute clarity. Be specific. What is it? When will you achieve it? And what will you give in return? Read it aloud morning and night. 2. Identify your mastermind. Think of at least 2 people, either your friends, colleagues, mentors, whose unique skills and perspective could help you achieve your definite purpose. Reach out to one of them this week to discuss a collaborative idea. 3. Practice 1% persistence. Choose one small task related to your goal that you often procrastinate on. Commit to doing it for just 15 minutes every day without fail this week. It's about consistency, not intensity. Share your progress using hashtag Achievers Book Club to social media. We want to celebrate your wins. Don't just read about achievements, live it. Small, consistent actions followed by clear purpose are the bedrocks of monumental success. We see possibilities.
Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I found it very interesting, exciting, educative.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a lot, a whole lot.
Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
And my name is Dr. Edward Bush, one of the co-founders and president-elect of AMEN. That stands for the African American Male Education Network and Development. I want to give a big up and a big shout out to the Achievement Channel for all the great work that you're doing, motivating and inspiring the young people of Nigeria. Keep up the outstanding work, Achievement Channel.
I'm Herb English. I am the president of the African American Male Education Network. Big shout out to the Achievement Channel. Really appreciate all the work that you're doing here and abroad. Thank you so much.
As we wrap up our incredible journey through Think and Grow Rich, the pursuit of knowledge never stops. Next week, we'll shift our focus to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. We'll be exploring the first 3 habits: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. Get ready to embrace powerful principles for personal effectiveness that will empower your path to success. The pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong adventure. Each new book, each new page opens up a new possibility for growth and impact. Embrace the journey with see possibilities. Thank you for joining me on the Achievers Book Club. Remember, the wisdom you gain from these pages, when applied, transforms your world. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep achieving. I'm Sarah Undu, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Good morning and welcome to Achievement News, your daily source of positive and inspiring stories from around the world. I'm Tracy Dominic, and here are today's top headlines. On today's news, we bring you hope-filled stories from around the globe. First, in Lagos, Lagoon School attends a training program at the School of Eloquence. And on the international scene, a community initiative has successfully planted over 10,000 trees, transforming urban spaces into green oases. Next, in New York, a group of high school students has developed an innovative app to help the elderly stay connected with their families. Our first story focuses on the importance of education, empowering school. Students of the Lagoon Secondary School, Lekki, Lagos, have started a 3-day transformative program for the senior prefects at the School of Eloquence. This 3-day program, which had 20 students and 2 teachers in attendance, the Dean School of Eloquence, Ibon Essien, addressed the prefects in an opening remark, emphasizing the importance of excellence and agility in their various roles. This 3-day program is tailored to enhance the students' proficiency, empower them to become excellent individuals, and thrive in their various roles as prefects at the Lagoon School. And now, in a small town in California, residents came together to rebuild after a devastating wildfire. Through shared determination and collective effort, the community has not only rebuilt their homes, but also created a stronger, more connected town. Such stories of resilience remind us of the power of community and collective action. Now, let's move on to our Business Boost segment. In our Business Boost segment, we highlight Ecotech Innovations, a company dedicated to creating sustainable technology, founded by environmental engineer Laura Green. The company has developed a groundbreaking water purification system that is affordable and efficient. Ecotech innovation is a shining example of how businesses can thrive while contributing positively to the environment. Now let's embellish your morning with some positive picks. Here are some uplifting stories and fun facts to brighten your day. Did you know that laughter can boost your immune system? A recent study has shown that a good laugh can increase your body's natural defense mechanisms. In arts and culture, a new mural in downtown Lagos celebrates the city's rich history and vibrant culture, bringing joy to passers-by. And now in modern technology, a young inventor has created a device that translates sign language into spoken words, opening up new possibilities for communication. These positive picks remind us that there is always something good happening in the world. In our Sporting Inspiration segment, we feature the incredible journey of para-athlete Michael Johnson. After losing his leg in a car accident, Michael didn't just give up on his dreams. Instead, he took up para-sports and recently won a gold medal in the Paralympics. Michael's story is a powerful reminder that determination and hard work can overcome any obstacle. And now we leave you with this silver lining as we close today's broadcast. Despite the challenges we face, there is always hope and possibility for positive change. Today, we celebrate the small acts of kindness that make a big difference. From a child's lemonade stand raising money for charity to neighbors helping each other during tough times. These silver linings remind us that there is still goodness in today's world. Thank you so much for joining us on Achievement News. Remember, every day is an opportunity to achieve greatness. I'm Tracy Dominic. See you again tomorrow for another inspiring news right here on Achievement Channel.
Hello there, welcome to Inspire Her on the Achievement Channel. I'm your host, Helen Ongma Odeleye. Today we are talking about becoming your best self, a journey of self-discovery and growth. Join me as we explore the transformative power of self-awareness, goal setting, and confidence building. Get ready to unleash your authentic, empowered, and extraordinary self. I'm joined by two amazing women. First, Jenny Etta. She's an author of The Bathroom and is reminiscing of thoughts and happenstances on entrepreneur and songwriter of Oba Anwoba. She's also a culinary artist who enjoys to help people see themselves better by doing better. She will tell us what that means. We also have Mrs. Keisha Olukorede. She's a Federal Controller of Works, Lagos. She's an engineer and a phenomenal woman doing great work in the Federal Civil Service. Now, let's get the conversation started. Like I said before, we're going to be exploring a couple of areas. We're going to be helping our sisters out there, the women out there, and get them inspired. So let us, first of all, meet you formally and take us on a very short journey, of what you've been doing.
Good morning, Helen, and thank you for having me here. My name is Olukorede Keisha. I'm an engineer by profession. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a business person too. But more importantly, I'm a civil servant. I started a journey to being a civil engineer by going to the Polytechnic in 1984. When I got into Polytechnic, I didn't have somebody to really guide me as to the difference between poly and university. I just came out and my father said, okay, you need to go to school, and then I just took poly form and I went. On getting to poly and coming out of poly, I discovered that this huge gap that existed between the BSc and the HND. I got into civil service almost immediately after NYSC. And then I started and I saw that, oh, wow, serious dichotomy here. Just parallel lines. You can't cross. After level 14, as an HND holder, you cannot cross. And you can't become director, you can't become what, you can't climb to the zenith of my career. So I said, well, you know what? I opted to get out of school, to get out of the work. I tried my hands on something else, but I wasn't finding fulfillment. My fulfillment was in this engineering. I tried to go to Dubai, sell clothes, sell this, because the difference, they just made it to be too clear, as if you have not gone to school at all with the HND. They made it to look as if I just went to nursery school, not even primary. So I was really, really disturbed. And I know I could do better than what they were offering me. Most of the time, my colleagues will be in the office holding meetings. They won't have solution. It is after the meeting they will come and call me. Akeisha, please, there's this thing we discussed. I say, Shibi, you are the engineers. And go solve your problem. They say, please help us, help us. So several times they call for meetings. Then when you go to the meeting, they say, no, they call the engineers. I say, what? What will I do? So I said, there are no two ways to it. I have to go back to school. And I did my BSc and I had masters. So, and then I came back to the work and I was able, and I started again. That brought my level back, but I didn't mind. But at least I know I can climb and get to the zenith of my career. This relevance that I'm having now wouldn't have been possible if I'd just followed that path of HND, if I didn't try to improve on myself. A lot of my colleagues were frustrated.
So we're talking about self-discovery, knowing really who you are and what you want to be. At what point really did it occur to you that this is not for me? I need to be there.
That's what I said. You know, as a result of frustration in the line of that technical, I wanted to fall out and then just be a business person and be fulfilled along that path. But I knew something in me, you understand?
Didn't add up.
Yes, I wasn't
satisfied
in that line. So it's only in engineering that I find my joy, my peace, my pleasure and satisfaction. So I said, okay, what do I need, you understand, to now make me fulfilled in this engineering?
You went back to school?
So I had to go back to school.
Okay,
so,
congratulations.
And I'm happy. A lot of my colleagues have retired now because that level 14 will have been the bar and the frustration that comes with it. Okay. I wouldn't have been this relevant. Okay. So,
and that's it. Relevance.
Yes.
Relevance is key.
Yes.
And when you self-discover yourself, you become more relevant to society.
Yes.
Okay. So let's come to you. Tell us your story. Where are you coming from?
Okay. Again, my name
as
is...
brief as possible.
My name is Jenny Etta, as already introduced. And my story is a bit deep, I would say. So growing up was not an easy one for me. I had a rough one. It was a really rough start in life. I wanted to become a theater artist. And when the time came, he refused. And it disrupted education for me, so to speak. However, I did not relent, all right? He left the house. At some point, we had to, it just became, a struggle in life, so to speak. There was that point where, because I needed to go to school, I just wanted to go to school. I would always, go and hustle, put money together to go to school. But it would come from nowhere, after all done. And then he would just, begin to talk to frustrate me out of, school. For a young child who was growing up, it was really traumatizing, I must say. However,
you rose above that.
I rose above that. I was able to, give myself education so to speak, from, it was not the usual education you're used to, but for every opportunity I got, I made sure I got education. I educated myself. So I wanted to become, now this is the clincher here. I wanted to become a theater artist. I didn't have the opportunity. Today I can say that I appeared, I've done something with a TV production. I've acted in a very popular, I've acted in a popular soap opera known worldwide. That's some form of achievement. I wanted to be a writer of some sort. I wrote when I was I wrote when I was young. I achieved it. I did not let, my upbringing, so to speak, deter me. It was a lot. It was a lot. Maybe as we go on in this, it just would unfold. So
because what you're saying, what I'm getting, not everybody has, a background that is easygoing.
No.
And you have shared your story, and you're saying in spite of.
Definitely.
Because that's where we're here, to inspire. We know that at this point, there are millions of ladies out there, young people, married, mothers, and all of having difficulties in life. But the essence of this show is to say, hey, that woman out there, you should be inspired. Nothing should be able to put you down. You should have your eyes focused on the goal. If there is a goal for you, and there should be a goal for you. When we come back, there's a lot more coming from this conversation. Please join us again. Welcome back. It's still Inspire Her, and I would like to start this segment, the second segment, with a quote. Is a Ugandan proverb, and it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And here we are together with you out there saying, woman, do be inspired, learn from our stories, our experiences, the education that we've had, and our expertise and our exposure. And that's what this show is all about. Thank you, my sister. And thank you, ma'am. You said your story wasn't told. You did not add the sugar, the pepper, and the salt. Okay,
so
let's
the
have
ladies
it.
out there won't think it's that rosy. A lot of them just feel they should just walk into the ready-made
Yes, and we become a controller of that.
No, it doesn't happen like that.
So let's give us some of those things that you missed out.
When I needed to go back to the university, I had a subject missing at the O level. And when I went to uni, they said I needed that subject. And my younger ones are like I said, I'm the first child, and then the only girl. I have boys behind me. And the boys are like, sister, why are you going to do it? I said, I'll go and do GCE. They say, My husband said, GCE. I say, yes now. Because the way they are treating me in this office, and since I know that I'm wired for more, so why will I accept less that they are offering me? So I need to do that. And he encouraged me. I sat for GCE once because I was still doing a little bit of business. I didn't make it. My husband said, that means it's not meant for you. Why don't you just face this line of business? I said, no, I'll do it again. And I did it again, and I made it. At the first attempt, I was offered, let's assist you. I said, if I'm going to go there, I'm going to use my brain. I'm going to use my brain. I will leave everything and give it all it takes. And even the boy sitting next to me, man, you can look at my book. I said, no. And I failed it.
And I got something you said, because you realized that you were wired for more.
And I tell people in life, there are 4 Ds to hold on to if you must make it in life. apart from God,
Yeah.
apart from God,
Very true.
who is the author and finisher of our being, whatever we are in life, there must be 4 Ds that we'll hold on to. Number 1 of the Ds, you must desire a thing. You must desire a thing. And then you don't stop at that desire. Then you must decide to go for that thing. That's the second D. A lot of people stop at desire level. They look at you, oh, this woman is great and I like her. You want to be like her. Then decide. Take that second leap and decide. Then there's a third D, is be determined. Be determined. I was really determined. Everybody call me she for he or he for she. That's what they call me in engineering profession. You understand? When I lead a pack of 100 engineers, I'm in the forefront. My honorable minister will say, Kesha, I don't have this, your energy, slow down. You want to push me down. Where are you running to? And that even the younger ones, they say, ma, after this, let's take ELOS, let's take, but I say,
So
no,
where
we're
does
working.
the energy come from?
From the passion of doing that job. And I love doing it well. If you contract me now to get a job for you, I may be a bit expensive more than others, but you will get value for your money. And the last D you need, I said 4 Ds. You must desire a thing, you must decide to go for it, you must be determined, and then you must be disciplined.
That's right.
You must be disciplined. When I went to uni, there was a course that one of the professors said I didn't do. The results came out, and I didn't see my name on the list. Even all the younger ones, they followed. I was the eldest in class. They all followed me. They said, Professor Alao, we don't allow you. I said to me, when I got in, I said, I'm always number 1, first on the row. And on that day of exam, I was number 1 on the attendance list. How come I didn't sit for the exam? He was shouting at me, Madam, you didn't sit for that exam. I said, go look for it. By the time he looked and he found the attendance sheet first. He saw, I said, I'm number 1. And he saw it, I was number 1. I don't go late for lectures. I will always be there and I'll sit in front because I want to hear. It's the second time.
Okay, so we're not just sharing these stories for the sake of just talking.
Of course.
We're believing that someone out there is picking, in between the lines. It's either you're at a point where you're about to make that very critical decision for your life right now, and we're saying this is the way to go. Someone else has tried it and it worked for her. You probably need to take a second look, right? Okay, so let's pick up from you and talk about strengths and weaknesses, in who you have become in spite of where you started from and where you are now. How were you able to identify your weaknesses, your strength, and how were you able to plunge, to deploy them to achieve your goal?
Let me just say, at some points, I got saved. I'm not afraid to say that. I got saved, and that helped a whole lot to me. I began to know myself, identify with who I really am on the inside, because of who lives in me. And so I knew that, okay, I could actually go out, if I wanted to achieve something, I can actually achieve it. I can do what it is, and I can do all things, of course, So I went all out for it, all right? I would go, I would fail on it, but I would not relent. I would still go back and still get, and still get it done until I have results. Yes. My weaknesses, of course, we all have, where there are strengths, there are also weaknesses, no doubt about that. Sometimes, when emotions, I'm also somebody who is easily discouraged, or rather, who can be easily discouraged. However, the strength on the other part helped, to push. When I stay on it, even though I have emotions running, I stay on it to get it all done, and that's basically what it is. So let me relate a particular
instance?
Oh, by the way, I dropped out of a lot of, I would say I dropped out of schools. I don't know if yes, I dropped out of schools, not because I wanted to drop out. It was because there were no funds. So that's not to say I didn't really go to school, or, you know. When there were no funds, there was no support. At some point, I would drop out of school. I had a lot of admissions as well. There were also I had admissions. I remember I got an admission to Polytechnic of Calabar, but my dad did not allow me go. That was to read because it was theatre arts. So of course, his friends told him that's not a place for, you know, that was back then. That's not a place for young women. The end result will be prostitution. You know, that was that. However, I packed my things, came back, and then I was able to do a journalism course.
Okay. So
because of it.
You see, in spite of these difficulties, you didn't stop.
I didn't stop.
You never stopped. You probably took a break, not a break that you desired.
No.
And then when the time was right, you jumped back on track.
Exactly.
So you had a journey. You had a destination that you wanted to get to.
Exactly. So I wanted to get to. There was a place I wanted to get to, and then of course, you know, resilience helped.
Okay.
Drive on the inside helped as well.
Okay.
And I believed in myself.
Awesome. That is very, very key, believing in yourself. So as we get ready to wind up, we have a few minutes more to, you know, close this show. Let us look at some of the obstacles that you have faced. Believing in yourself sometimes is not enough. When you have so many obstacles, especially in the workplace. The civil service is known to be a place with a lot of hurdles. Tell us how you managed to scale through some of them.
The only hurdle I faced in the civil service was the dichotomy between the technical and the engineering cadre. That was the only one I faced. And I was able to go over it.
You didn't face the men and the women thing?
No. Maybe because most of my colleagues, they don't even see me as a woman.
Why is that so?
Because when you study engineering back in those days, most of the time is only one female, two females, three females in a class.
And a lot of men.
And a lot of men. So we always see ourselves as boys, as men. Even till today, my colleagues, majority of them.
So you're a tomboy or
Yes, I'm like that, yes. So we don't even see that. So that's why sometimes when they take decision, they forget that you're a woman.
Okay.
You understand? They forget. Like now they can say, everybody go to site and then reside there. Then from site you give, you understand, your site reports. It doesn't matter whether the site is inside the village, whether they are doing kidnapping there, whether they expect you. There's no exception. There's no exception.
So the profession actually prepared you?
Yes. As an engineer, you're wired for that. Your resilience must be very high. So I didn't face that. I didn't face in decision makings, in this, I didn't face that. We treated ourselves as men. When I talk to a lot of women, there are some things they don't like about what I say. I don't like you gunning for a post, gunning for a position because you're a woman. I don't like you clamoring for a post or asking for favors because you are a woman. I want you to actually earn it. That's my own. If men are going for skills, go for skills. If men are going for training, go for training. If men are reading for exams, read for exams. It's not that as a lady you're not reading, then when promotion comes, you don't say they promoted only all the males. You understand? Six men start for exam and 2 females. They gave it to 4 people.
Who deserved?
Me, I'm not sentimental about that.
So you must deserve.
You must earn it.
You must earn it.
You must earn it. If there are bridges to cross that bridge with the men. I don't stay on a side and say because they are men. If you want anywhere you want to cross, I don't normally wear trousers. But if like we're going to tower 35 floors, I will get there before any man.
My goodness.
I won't say because I'm a lady, so let me stand here. Then when the men go there, they come and give me the report. No.
Wired for more.
No.
Wired for more. Thank you.
Women should earn. Always strive to earn their positions. Whatever you're asking for, strive to earn it. Not just asking for it because you're a female.
Thank you. Inspire a sister out there in a minute.
You know, life is not a bed of roses, they say. However, there are things you can actually do to help yourself get to where you desire. It may not be rosy indeed, but you can always garner courage. Believe in yourself. There's a lot embedded in you as a woman. Get out there. For whatever reason, find something to do. Find something to do. And go ahead and do it because you can.
Thank you very much. Find that thing that you were wired and created for. There's always that purpose that is entirely you, the fulfillment of that dream that is entirely you, and no one else can do it. So she says, find it and pursue it and ensure that you get it done. Thank you so much. Last word from her.
There is a story I like to share. That story may encourage somebody.
Okay.
I was driving on Lagos Badagry Expressway and I saw a lady conductress. A very young girl, very naive, very innocent looking girl. The girl should be about 15. And she was a bus conductress. She hung on the bus at Mile 2 and she was calling Oshodi. I told my driver, park by this girl. And I parked. I said, young lady, come here. Why are you doing this? She said, nobody to send me to school. Wow. I came from the village and there's no help. He said she was selling granules and it wasn't adding up. So she decided to do this. I said, how much are they paying? She said, 4,000 naira. They're going to destroy you. Don't do this anymore. I said, take my number, give me your number, and I'll call. She's in school at the moment. But it's because she came out. Yes. That's why I'm able to see her. If she has said she's a female, and then she's gotten somebody to impregnate her, that means I've ruined her entire life. She came out because she knows she can do much more than she was doing. Wow. I think that story can encourage somebody. I just like to tell that story.
On behalf of that young girl, we say thank you. And because we know that there are loads of other young girls like her out there. So get out there and be found. Let us find you in a place where we can help you. Okay, so we have had an amazing conversation today, haven't we? Yes, we've been able to inspire some sisters out there, I'm sure. Okay, so we have had an amazing conversation about self-discovery, about personal growth, strengths, and potentials. I believe that you would like to join us again next time on Inspire Her on Achievement Channel. Remember that Margaret Thatcher once said, do not follow the crowd. Let the crowd follow you. Keep staying inspired. I'm Helen, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator Minute, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator Minute, Mr.
Mr. Motivator, the challenge to perform.
Every morning we're told in Africa that the gazelle wakes up with a clear determination that it must run faster than the fastest lion in order not to be eaten alive. Every morning we're told that the lions also wake up determined to run faster than the slowest gazelle, otherwise they will starve. Well, there's a moral to this anecdote. It is simply this: that it doesn't matter whether you're the lion or the gazelle. What truly matters is that when morning comes, you had better get up and get going. It's the dawn of a brand new day, and I'm here to ask you, what do you want to achieve today? Where do you want to go with your life, with your goals, with your aspirations? What sort of difference are you seeking to make in whatever it is you've chosen for yourself to do? My job is to challenge you to perform. My job is to inspire you, to energize you, and to bring to you all of the resources that you will need so that you can indeed say to yourself that, yes, I had this morning with Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator. Mr. Motivator. Mr. Motivator.
Walt Disney, the founder of Disneyland, once said that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We're going to be discussing what I consider my favorite subject matter. It is the subject matter of dreams, the subject matter of setting goals for yourself, of aspiring to achieve the impossible. Most times, what we think is impossible is actually something waiting to be done by someone else. In fact, as Napoleon once put it, that impossible is only a word to be found in the dictionary of fools. And I know you are not a fool. So when we talk about dreams, what are the 4 major things that you need to know in order to live a successful life driven by the power of dreams? Number 1, you must dream big dreams. Dream the dreams of giants. Dream a dream that might look so impossible at the outset, but you need a dream to be so big so as to enable it to challenge you, to inspire you. It's always very important to realize that you were not made for small things. As a matter of fact, every one of us is made to do something big at one point in time or the other in our lives. So dream a dream that stimulates you, that excites you every morning to want to get up and go. That's the first principle. Number 2, you must draft the dream. Put it down in writing. Maybe you need to sculpt it, paint it. In whichever way you can, put it out there. Make it tangible so that people can see and relate to it. And number 3, you must declare your dreams. Tell people about your dreams. We're not asking you to discuss your dreams, but I'm saying to you, declare it. Let people know what it is you are seeking to accomplish in your life or in whatever field of human endeavor that you've set out to do. And then finally, number 4 is this. And this is where it all comes together. You must do what the dream demands of you to do. If the distance be not traveled, the destination will never be reached. Dreams will remain pie in the sky if we do not take action. So what actions are you taking? Set goals. Specifically begin to outline what you need to do so that you can begin to work towards them. I leave you with the words of a young lady who was challenged and people felt her dreams were impossible. In fact, they said to her, "Your dreams are not real." Then she replied by saying, "The dream is real. It is the failure to make it happen that is the unreality." Dream big dreams.
Mr. Motivator. Mr. Motivator. Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator, the challenge to perform.
Imagine a world transformed by the power of giving, where every act of kindness sparks another. These are the champions who dedicate their lives to change. Together, they are paying it forward. Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Hello and welcome to Champions of Change. I am Pamela Igbo, your host for this journey of inspiration, transformation and action. This is the Achievement Channel and we are reaching you live from our studios at the School of Eloquence, Lagos. This program is dedicated to showcasing individuals and organizations that are creating a positive impact in our communities. We aim to motivate you to get involved and support meaningful causes. Today, our champion of change is Olatunji Gabby Williams. She is a trustee of the Gabby Williams Alzheimer's Foundation, which was established in 2018. The foundation recently received the Humanitarian Justice Award for its contributions to elder care. She's a passionate advocate for social change with a history of leading impactful projects. She also founded Sponsor a Child Nigeria, which advocates for children's rights and welfare in institutions across Nigeria. Olatunji, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
It's great to be here, Pam. Thank you for inviting me.
Fantastic. So let's get right into it. So the Gabby Williams Alzheimer's Foundation is one that is very personal to your family. Could you tell us a little bit more about that experience for you? And also, I'd appreciate if you tell our viewers, for our viewers, what are some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's that we can look out for early detection?
Okay, so the Gabby Williams Alzheimer's Foundation was founded on my father's 80th birthday, the 11th of September 2017. He'd been suffering, well, living with Alzheimer's, we say living with Alzheimer's for 10 years then. He went through all the stages, and by the time we inaugurated the foundation on his birthday, Daddy was already close to the 7th stage, which means he was catatonic, he couldn't speak, he couldn't even hold his head up, he was in a wheelchair, he had carers 24/7, he was really sort of not functioning at all. And so, yes, we wanted the guests at the party to see what it looks like, the ravages of Alzheimer's on a man as healthy, as intellectually brilliant, as physical. And my father was very athletic, as my father was. We wanted to show them, we wanted to demystify the condition. We wanted them to see also how terrible the disease is. So yes, it was very, very personal. And we wanted to make sure that people, it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic, global pandemic. And there's so little information, although things are changing now. We wanted to make sure that people weren't confronted with kind of ignorance that we were confronted with, our own, and the ignorance of even the so-called the workforce, that many of whom, the health workforce, they really just didn't know what they needed to know to really help relieve the emotional burden, the practical caring burden, and we set it up to network with them. A growing database network of specialists who could deliver talks, Q&A sessions, and there's so many people that are willing to share their knowledge and expertise, and we wanted to pool it and share it with all the people who needed it.
Right, okay. So what are some of the symptoms we can look out for Alzheimer's? Because obviously it's the most common form of dementia. So what are some of the early stage symptoms that we can look out for?
Flow. We have this mnemonic called flow, and it's stands for, the F stands for forgetting, and it's forgetting all the time and forgetting important things all the time. That L stands for losing your way, losing things all the time. The O stands for overlooking your personal appearance, overlooking your hygiene, personal hygiene, overlooking things you would not normally overlook. Overlooking, you forget to turn off the stove, for instance. Wow. That's overlooking, and that also comes under F, forgetting. You're forgetting that you have something on the cooker. And the W stands for wandering off. Wandering and just losing your way generally, and just wandering aimlessly without any direction. And also the W stands for having to write things down now.
Wow.
So that, yes, the mnemonic is flow.
Right.
Yes.
And so by the time the end of your father's life, he had all those symptoms?
Oh, yes. I mean, he had those symptoms even earlier than the 7th stage. The 7th stage, you are just not functioning at all. You're not even walking. Because, you know, it's a disease of the brain. It's a degenerative disease. So it's the brain that sends the commands to the body to do this and to do that. By that stage, the 7th stage, your brain is really sort of eaten up with the disease. It cannot send those commands. So, you know, Daddy couldn't do anything. Even eating, sometimes the food would be left in his mouth because the brain wasn't sending the command to chew and swallow. It gets as bad as that. It is a terrible thing to look at. So he was exhibiting those symptoms, I would say, by sort of stage 3. And I can't name, you know, the specific, they do have names, but the specific stage, I cannot name it. But I would say that by the middle stage, 3, he would already, all those symptoms were a factor of his life.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, that must have been so hard for you to watch that and see your dad degenerate that way. So I know that the mission of the foundation is one of education and advocacy so that people can understand. Could you just tell us briefly what are the specific ways you've been able to do that since you founded the foundation, and what are some of the challenges, particularly in the Nigerian context, that you faced doing this and how you've navigated it?
Interestingly enough, people are hungry because it's a pandemic and because a lot of families have elderly people who do act strange at a certain age. And they're curious about what might be going on. Is this the normal aging? Is this something else? So we found that in terms of receptivity to the information we're giving, Nigerians have been very receptive, which is great. So they're responsive to the information. We like to work for our outreaches with faith-based organizations. At the moment it's churches, but we want to go into mosques, we want to go to all the faith-based organizations because that's where the people gather. That's where you'll find literally thousands of people, and we can also get them in cell groups in churches as well. So we can go small, we can go big. Yes, challenges, as I said, people, the specialists we work with, this network of specialists we're building, which is growing every day. Nutritionists, public health practitioners, neurologists, gerontologists, geriatrics specialists, neurologists, I've said that already. They're very happy to share their knowledge. They want to be part of the fight against dementia. We may not be able to stop it happening, we can help to prevent it, but we can help people understand it better so it's destigmatized, and can also help people manage it better. So we find that in terms of responsiveness, there are no challenges. Gabby Williams Alzheimer's Foundation is endowed, but we will be going into fundraising very soon. And also we will be, the brain health of the executive retreat we've put together, it's a funded program. So we will get money coming in, and that will be interesting as a stage in our journey to see how easy it is to transact.
Sure.
In social enterprise transactions. It'll be interesting to see how well we do. So far, we're giving. It's a charity. We're giving and giving and giving. So there are no challenges in terms of response and receptivity. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you talked a little bit about it being a pandemic earlier, and I must say, when I was doing my research, I was blown away by the numbers. So, I found out that there are 55 million people living with Alzheimer's worldwide. 60% of that number are in low and middle income countries like Nigeria, and it's due to increase to 139 million worldwide by 2050, which is an outstanding number. And by 2030, almost 4 million people will be living with dementia in sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, these are sobering numbers, to say the least. So in terms of the government in this country, what sort of reforms and policies do you need to see to create a robust healthcare infrastructure that will take care of patients and caregivers alike?
Well, we've got the primary health centers. I mean, that's the first point of call. That's a port of entry into the healthcare system, and we need to revitalize them, re-equip them, man them. The National Senior Citizen Center is working hard with the training of geriatric social care skills, making sure that the workforce is eligible to be the workforce. At the level of training, certification, registration, they're working on a quality assurance model. And and that's going to sort of be rolled out. So everyone in the aging space, if you want to go into training, you use that template. So we're looking forward to receiving that. That is extremely important. Revitalize the primary health centers, because that is they're all across the country. I think they're about 33,000 now. Not enough, but that's the first port of entry. Make sure they're properly equipped, properly staffed, and that the staff are properly trained. I was thinking about telemedicine. I think that might be the solution for a lot of the old people. The populations you're talking about, they're going to be living. A lot of them will be living in rural areas. They're already there, and we want to reach them. And we know the infrastructural problems in rural areas. So telemedicine might help. Will help if we can get the government behind it independently and also in private-public partnerships. So get private sector coming up with platforms for telemedicine, apps for telemedicine, and get government doing something to make it happen, some sort of regulatory framework or even funding. Telemedicine, I think, will really help to alleviate a lot of the suffering of elderly people and people living with dementia in rural areas. It will also, what else can I, the caregivers, for occupational therapists, we recommend that they increase the workforce in occupational therapy, because they are vital for people living with dementia and also the elderly. They help with managing the home environment, making recommendations for modifications, to prevent, to ensure safety, to prevent falls. They are very useful with care planning, and they're also very useful in training the caregivers. Increase the occupational therapy workforce. Telemedicine is something they really do need to roll out, and that will really go a long way, I think, in alleviating the suffering of the staggering numbers you've just mentioned.
It sounds like there's so much work to be done in this area. But we'll take a quick break now. We'll come back with this incredible conversation when we come back.
Champions of Change.
Paying it forward.
Join us and be part of the movement.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional in Lagos and Abuja.
Call 0802 3032 066. Log on to schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence.
Teaching the world to speak.
Champions of Change.
Paying it forward.
Join us and be part of the movement.
Welcome back to the show, and we're having an incredible conversation so far with Tone. So Tone, tell me, in terms of the community, how can the community get engaged to create more awareness, education, destigmatization of this disease, and so that it can be far-reaching?
Okay, that's a great question. Let's start with the individual. Individuals, you can get involved in the World Days. There's World Elder Abuse Awareness Day on June the 15th. There's World Alzheimer's Day on the 21st of September. There's the National Day of Older Persons, and we celebrate that here. We mark it on the 10th of October. Now, we have all these. We have the infomercials we put together, Waiting to Do Mama Dupe, which is in Pidgin English. We have Remembering Tomorrow, Lesson at Obalende Buka. And we can give that to you for you to screen on your personal channels. And also Flow, the mnemonic. It's good to learn it. And on your Facebook Live, go out there and tell people Flow and go through the motions, forgetting, losing, overlooking, wandering off, writing things down. And you can do that. These are ways of recognizing, Alzheimer's type of dementia. So you can also help to distribute IEC materials, follow us on social media, visit our website, keep up to date with our activities, and let us know the kind of things you would like to get involved in. And as for corporates, I really advise that I recommend that they reach out to the National Senior Citizen Center, the NSCC, which was established in 2017 by the National Senior Citizens Act. And they have this wonderful public-private partnership where they have a prototype of a senior citizen center, which is a fantastic forum for activities, for events, programs, conferences, talks, libraries, recreation, all sorts of things. It's all encompassing. And they want to roll it out as a public-private partnership. So the corporates provide the funding, they provide the prototype and all the expertise required to make it happen. And the vision is one community, one senior center for every community in the country. So I think that's a wonderful thing way to get behind the fight against Alzheimer's, dementia, because we're going to have, these are fora where we can listen to talks about it, to destigmatize it, to give information, which is equipping you to really manage living with a person living with dementia. So yes, I think that, does that answer your question?
Absolutely. So that's excellent information. We'll drop the information about your foundation on our channel for people to get in touch. Tell me, in terms of dementia, is it something that can be prevented? What steps can people take to prevent dementia? And presumably, is it just in old people, or do young people suffer from dementia?
Well, elderly people are disproportionately affected, but it's not just older people. You get young people get dementia as well, but disproportionately older people. I'm loath to use the word prevention, keeping it at bay. Take care of your brain health. It's one of the reasons, well, it's the major reason why we've launched the Brain Health in the Corporate Structure program with our Brain Health of the Executive Retreat. Brain health, the health of your brain is put at risk. Periodontal disease, which is a gum disease, and it's inflammation of the mouth, and it gets into the bloodstream and it affects the brain. Hyperlipidemia is about lipids in the blood, too much fats in the blood, high cholesterol. All these put your brain health at risk. Smoking, reduce alcohol. You don't have to stop it completely, but reduce it. A glass of red wine, with a meal is not going to harm you, but take it easy with the alcohol intake. Smoking, no. Protect your brain health, because Alzheimer's is a disease of the brain. Drink lots of water and keep yourself hydrated, particularly when I remember when you're already suffering from the disease, you need lots of water to hydrate the brain.
That's excellent.
Yes, have I answered your question?
I've learned a lot as we speak. So thank you so much for that. But before we end the show, I wanted to ask you about one of the things which is your passion. Got nothing to do with Alzheimer's, but I thought I must ask because you are a passionate advocate for children's rights. Tell us a little bit about that work, and you've been doing it for 14 years, and what impact you've had and what you want to see for the future with that.
I started Sponsor a Child in 2003, and the last major project ended in 2015 with an award ceremony for all the network of institutions across the country who, orphanages mostly and early learning centers, who had participated in the program. Rights-based childcare is our flagship project, so we ran training programs across the country for caregivers and educators in institutions. We were funded by the Democracy and Human Rights Fund of the American Consulate, the embassy, and we were funded also by Procter & Gamble, who was our main sponsor for 2 years. We got a global grant to do our work. So rights-based childcare, what are the human rights of children, and how do we integrate the care we provide our children with the rights. The rights cut across the right to survive, that's life, right to develop, that includes education and physical development, psychosocial development, the right to protection, that's protection from abuse, neglect, and the right to participate, recognizing that children learn how to become good, healthy, effective adults if they are encouraged from a very young age. Democratic principles, learning how to take turns, learning how to make decisions according to their age group. The Child Rights Act of 2003 has an idea, a theme that runs through it called the evolving capacities of children. So now we look at our children as individuals, and we tailor the way we raise them to suit the individual's evolving capacities. So it's no longer this this one size fits all kind of upbringing. You're much more cognizant of the child as an individual. We are more cognizant of the child as having agency. We want to encourage them to think independently, to think critically. So the rights really do help to enshrine those ideas of the agency of children, of their evolving capacities. And we also, through my work now with the UN, I'm a founding partner of the UN Book Club for Africa. And thank you. And what we do is we invite them to become partners in development. So you can do, at your age, with the supervision of your teachers, you can do something in your communities to help, implement the Sustainable Development Goals. So go out there, find something that you can, you don't like, you want to tackle it. Let the teachers take them to the local government and challenge the officials in local government and do something and take, and take their place as citizens of their country and within the community.
Great, that's excellent. We must get you here for another show on children's advocacy. That'll be fantastic. But thank you so much for having, given your time to talk about Alzheimer's and the wonderful work you're doing with your foundation, and we wish you all the best. It's been great to have Tone here today. All the information about what they do and how you can get in touch will be on our channel. So thank you so much again. It's been great to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Champions of Change. We hope these stories have inspired you to take steps towards making a difference in your own little way. Change starts with one person, one act, one decision to make the world a better place. Together, we can be the change we wish to see. This is the Achievement Channel. From our studios at the School of Eloquence, Lagos, I am Pamela Igbo. See you next time. Bye.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Welcome to Career Success, the premier program dedicated to helping you navigate the path of professional excellence. Whether you are just starting out as an entrepreneur looking to advance your career or considering a career change, this program is designed to provide you with the insight, the tools, and inspiration you need to achieve your career goals. This is Achievement Channel, and we are reaching you from the School of Eloquence here in Lagos. My name is Oyinpriye Krumale. Our guest is a distinguished accountant, a high-profile administrator, and a renowned educator known for exceptional achievements and contributions to our industry. Ms. Doreen Onyekwelu is a dynamic leader with a remarkable career spanning over 28 years of working experience across health, manufacturing, and educational sectors in Nigeria. In 2005, Doreen moved to the Lagoon School to take up a position as a Director of Finance and Administrator and served for 17 years until her appointment to the position of acting principal in 2022. She became the principal in 2023 and heads the school's management team. She's also a member of the governing board of Lagoon School. Good day to you, Doreen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Priye.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Your profile is quite robust, and I am thinking, where am I going to start from? So,
you can start from anywhere.
Thank you very much. It's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Now, can you share with us, just a little bit about your upbringing, your influence, and your interest, and just what you feel the public should know concerning your background in education?
Oh, great. Thank you very much. I come from a family of 6 children. My dad, 84 years, so does a lot of things. In fact, I like to mention his name all the time because he's my role model. My mom as well is a teacher, 71 years. Yes.
71.
Great, yes.
I see.
And they still drive, do a lot of things for themselves, no house help, for instance. So if you see them, you'll be proud to have them as your parents.
No house helps at 84 and 71.
71.
I see.
They cooking together, they go to market together, they do things together.
At that age?
At that age.
I see. That's where I think this generation needs to be learning a lot from that.
I remember telling the parents during one of our parents' forum, and I met a parent in one of the stores in Lagos, and what he reminded me, said, remember that talk you gave telling us about your 84-year-old dad? I said, wow, you remembered. Said, that was the only thing I took away, and you told us that he still drives.
Wow, that's great to hear. Let's move away from that now. Let's start talking about you. Your career beginnings and motivation. Can you share with us what inspired you to pursue a career in accounting and finance?
Great. As far back as when I was in primary 3, the first newspaper I read, looking at career path, I saw accountancy. And one of the subjects required is mathematics. I loved mathematics. My mom is a mathematician, my dad is a mathematician. As long as the AC is on, I'm ready to solve mathematics till daybreak.
Wow.
So yes, I really wanted to study accountancy. But I must tell you that while in SS1, my mom now wanted me to study pharmacy. I was doing very well in physics, I was doing very well in chemistry, but I didn't really like biology. Why did she want me to study pharmacy? Because she felt, oh, my first sister is studying banking and finance, my second sister is studying accountancy. We are 6 children, why do I want to study accountancy? She wants to be a mother of a doctor or a pharmacist and all of that. So I had to drop accounts in my SS1 to do physics, chemistry, biology. But my first JAMB, I didn't make the cutoff.
Okay.
My dad, like I said, being my role model, had to call me to say, you know what? It's not the end of life, begin again. Because my first 3, I'm the 4th child. The first 3 entered university immediately. So I had to step back, write JAMB
and
again,
wait.
And wait for 1 good year, yes.
Okay.
So I had to take up geography as well as government, which I didn't do well in school. But I got all the support from my dad as well as my mom that eventually understood. So I went back to reading for JAMB again to do accountancy, which was my dream as far back as primary 3 when I was just 9 years old.
I see. All right. How did your experience as an accounts clerk, at Niger Foundation Hospital and Diagnostic Center shape your career aspirations? Because it seems that's where you started.
Yes, that was actually when I was in my first year in the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, studying accountancy, and the school went on strike. And I don't like just staying at home, not doing anything. So I decided to apply for that job, which I got to be the accounts clerk in Niger Foundation Hospital. I worked there for like 3 months before they called off the strike and I went back to school. I was really happy to have that opportunity. One funny thing I must say, it's okay, there wasn't any counting machine, for instance. I know how you count money like this, but they taught me how to count money fast in this manner. I was really glad. And I got good, lovely feedback because I would say that I'm someone that is very meticulous. I will never want to leave without balancing my accounts and all of that. So, yes.
The left and the right must correlate.
Exactly.
Okay.
For any debit entry, there must be a corresponding credit entry. So that was really helpful. When school resumed, I just felt, wow, I'm in the right profession studying accountancy.
Okay.
And it gave me push when school started.
All right. That's great. So,
and that was the first time I touched money, telling myself, wow, this is the work I did, and I'm being paid for it.
When you said that's the first time you touched money, is it like you touched the physical currency?
I
or
earned money.
You earned money
yes,
as
I
an
earned money as an accountant, not asking my parents to give me money for something because I already had my own savings from the work I did.
Whilst you're still in school?
Yes.
Okay.
While I was still in school.
Now, let's run up a little. Human resource and team development. You, from your profile, I have seen that you had some quite experience with leadership and whilst you're transitioning from being an accountant to another sector where though you're still carrying out the accounting activities, but it was a complete different organization and in a complete different sector. So tell us about that transition.
Okay, after my university, I did my NYC in an accounting firm where I must say I got the knowledge I needed to excel in my career path, being an accountant. So from there, I worked in a hospital as a chief accountant and helped to set up the accounts department. In fact, it was very funny because the director said, I'm not going to call you just an accountant, I'm going to call you the chief accountant because you are the one in charge of this department. One thing I noticed is the delay in payment of salaries. But when I came on board, I had to learn how to be fast in collecting debts in order to be able to submit and have enough funds for us to be able to pay our workers.
What did you do to the people? Did you threaten them?
To make the payments?
Yes.
Definitely not. I started on time. Reminders. You know, being a hospital is also very, will I use the word, that empathy. Someone is not feeling fine and you're going to remind, especially those in the ward, you need to make this payment. But I don't go through that part just directly. I go visiting them often, sharing their pain with them, encouraging them. And in fact, the patient will be the one telling whether it's the parent or whoever has to make the payment. Please, we need to settle just because of the route I was following. Yes, I was able to make sure that debts were settled in good time in order to be able to pay them salary before the end of the month, of each month.
Okay. You're still watching Career Success on Achievement Channel. We're going to break shortly and we'll be back in a moment. Do stay with us.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. For private coaching in public speaking, call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back and many thanks for joining us on the program Career Success. I'm still having a conversation with Doreen Onyekwelu, an accountant, with an expanse of 28 years in the profession. Welcome back, Doreen.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's talk about some of the challenges you encountered whilst you're practicing your profession and some of the hurdles you needed to, to scale over, some of the mountains you faced as a practitioner. Tell us about it.
After my master's in accounting, same university, I got a job as the accountant. There was actually an accountant there already before I joined. But on getting there, I realized that there weren't accounting manuals. I was learning from what I was seeing. Nothing was laid down. The onboarding wasn't so fantastic. I told myself that whatever it is that I'm learning here or doing here, I must document everything to make it a lot easier for those that will come after me to have something to rely on and make onboarding easier for them. So that I managed to achieve, setting up all the accounting manuals. And from there, we transitioned from the manual aspect to using QuickBooks. QuickBooks is an accounting software which many companies use, so that helped a lot. It's a manufacturing company, and it's already a different set from the hospital. So hospital, you're talking about the income and expenditure, profit and loss, services, but this is a manufacturing company. It's also helped me to practice more of the things I learned in university, like cost accounting and management accounting, which is a different set of accounting from just the financial accounting.
Okay. Oh, so the kind of accounting that you practiced and executed when you were, working in the hospital is different from that
Completely
which
different.
obtained from the
In a
manufacturing
manufacturing
sector.
company, yes.
Now, okay, now you were saying something about one of the companies where you worked for. There were no accounting standards or manuals to guide procedures to guide the accountants there. You set the record straight there. Didn't you encounter any of the accountants who were in that company who came after you?
Yeah,
Were there cases like that?
Yes, there was a big challenge, but I really overcame, and I thank God, because there was an accountant, so I was I was the second accountant.
Okay.
And 6 months after my confirmation, I was made the financial manager, and this accountant was still there. So you can imagine how it will look like, and a male at that matter.
I see.
Anyway, but what helped me a lot was the soft skills, human relations, making him understand that we are here, we share a common goal, and we must make it work. So it's not about the position, it's not about the title, but about our working together, collaborating. And that also settled his mind, because I learned a lot from him, and he also learned a lot from me, and worked hand in hand with me to ensure that we had that accounting principles documented.
Let's talk about your key successes and milestones.
Okay.
Which of these areas in your previous company, were there any key successes and milestones that you achieved? And also in the manufacturing, were there any key successes or the highest, will I call it accolade, or what you achieved whilst practicing within your 28 years span that you can boast about and confidently talk about?
One of the greatest things, I'll say, if I look back, I'm very happy to remember are the people I worked with, because I also helped them to see the importance of owning one's job. Okay. So we're not just working for a company, but we are working for ourselves. So to grow in integrity, just as things as little as being punctual to work, I helped them to see that it's really important to work with that mindset so that we'll be able to give our best. And people were grateful.
Okay, those achievements, were there promotions? Were there not just promotions in instances where you were celebrated and you were more like in the limelight in the midst in the organization? Because if that doesn't, I was expecting to hear something like that since you were.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, tell us about those.
Remember that when I started, I said that 6 months after, once immediately I was confirmed from just being an accountant, I was made the financial manager. And truly I was asking myself, wow, just 6 months into what I was doing, I looked back. One thing I said to myself, I guess they saw the attitude to work which I had. Just a little story on coming to Lagos for auditing. I went with my managing director, my direct boss. She was so she was the one that told me the story afterwards when we were doing stock counts and what was in the book wasn't aligning with what we were counting physically. And I said, no, we need to recount again. And the salesperson kept on saying, but it's just one different, it's just one, a difference of one.
An insignificant amount.
Is very insignificant according to him. But I just said 1 + 1 is equal to 2, and it has to balance. Either we change what is in the book because that's not what we are counting. And he was taken aback, but we had to do the right thing. So by the time I got back, my managing director actually told me that she overheard a conversation that she was impressed. It's just something very little, but you can imagine how little things like this impress the owners because they feel you've taken it as your own, which was what I was trying to help every member of staff to see, that this your environment is yours. So if you are the head of sales, take up that role and work as a head of sales, that you are the owner of this organization. That mindset helps people a lot.
Okay, I see that. Now, you've worked in the medical sector, in the industry, you moved to manufacturing, and finally, you transitioned to education, which is, now you are the principal of one of the biggest schools in Lagos, Nigeria, the Lagoon School. You're not just the principal, you're also a member of the governing board.
Right.
How did you achieve that?
Moving to Lagos to work in Lagoon School, I actually went to work as a director of finance and administration. There wasn't a department set up for that. The vice principal, administration, and an accountant, they were just doing what they could do best. So the intention was to go and assist in setting up that department. But I fell in love with the school, and I said, well, this is an institution I want to work in because it's like leaving home and going home. So it was, for me, it was home away from home. Yes, I was able to do that, setting up that department, introduced all I had learned from where I worked before in the East, coming to Lagos, using the same accounting software, QuickBooks. What made me to transition from being an accountant to moving as the principal of Lagoon School, I want to believe that the pioneer principal already saw that in me. She already had that vision. It's true someone succeeded her, but she needed to move to Lagos Business School. That's where she's working now, and I also learned a lot from her. So I'm like the third principal of the Lagoon School. I would want to say that there's a level you will reach in your career. What matters is now the soft skills, your relationship with people, which I call human skills, because you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with members of staff, you're dealing with students. So it's beyond just the managerial work of trying to do accounts, but we're now talking of leading people and ensuring that the people are doing what they ought to do. So I want to believe that the principal saw that a lot in me, because I will never want to leave until something is achieved. And I entered into mentoring the members of staff as well as students, even their parents. So there was something they must have seen in me, which for me, they are those soft skills, not the hard skills.
Okay. First of all, before you moved in there, you worked in the acting capacity as a principal before you were finally appointed as the substantive principal. Now, why were you first?
So I needed to get that. It was something I never dreamt of, but I told myself, if this is an opportunity, why don't I go and get the qualification? So I had to get my professional diploma in education, as well as the mini MBA I did in education. So that took 1 year and a few months. So I have those qualifications. So now I'm
the principal. That's great. That's great news. Now, for many young professionals, for young people? Because I see you talked about mentoring, and you equally referenced how you mentored staff members and students who have dreams. Some of them, whilst you're giving mentoring classes to them, who want to be like you, an accountant, or want to be someone in the corporate setting that will impact, our career and the jurisdiction of our career positively. What advice would you give to these persons who have such aspiration, but they are being deterred by some of the hurdles they face or some of the challenges they encounter on the way?
The first thing I'm going to say is integrity. I like that when people are doing something, let them be known for what they are doing and let them do it very well. So whatever it is that they are doing or saying is what they are doing. And if I look back, I'll tell myself that that's what made me reach where I am now, not just because of my qualifications, but that's working with that mindset that I'm here to help people. I'm happy when people are happy. So my advice to these people will be to continue doing what they're doing and to tell themselves that I want to do it uprightly. I want to do it well. I want to do it, well, I will say above all, for love of God. Yes.
Okay, but in this generation, if one is going to engage in any career or in any profession, money is one of the primary motivating factor. Would you not consider that?
Money will come, but the first thing is service, hard work. People are not interested in the what, it's the how. You may want to get all the money and you get it today and tomorrow you don't get it. But when you are there to serve and people see that your interest is to give them the best, that money will come because you won't lose them.
Okay.
They will remain with you.
Money will come. People are not interested in the what, but in the how.
Yes.
Those are not my words. Those are the words of Doreen Onyekwelu. She's been our guest today. Thank you so much for your time with us, Doreen. It's nice to have you on our program.
Thank you, Mr. Pri.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And this is where we draw the curtain on the program Career Success. Until I come your way again, I am Oyin Priye Krumale. Many thanks for watching.
Welcome to Eloquence. Have you ever been out to events or occasions where certain people are being called upon to give a speech? And you're wowed based on their performance and confidence, based on their delivery and the power they ooze. Based on this, I'm in one of the streets in Lagos to ask for people's opinion about public speaking. Do you think public speaking is an inborn talent or a skill? Come with me as it samples people's opinion on this. I am Adeoye Damilola, and this is Eloquence. What do you think about public speaking? Do you think it is an inborn talent or a skill?
Well, public speaking, it works both ways. It might be by skill and it might be by birth. Like, some people are naturally talented to speak, and I think we have that commonly than the one of the skills.
It's an inborn. It is not easy acquiring that as a skill.
Well, I think it's a combination of the two. You understand? It could be an inborn talent and also a skill. Some they develop theirs, why others is an inborn thing for them. They are able to face crowd, you understand? We have some of us that have phobia.
Well, I think it's a skill, something you have to actually learn how to do.
To the best of my knowledge, it is a skill, it's not an inborn talent.
Yeah, we can say public speaking is an inborn talent, but it can be developed.
I think it's both, really, because I believe that some people have it inborn and some people develop it as a skill. But you just need a certain level of confidence, to purport yourself to where you want to be.
I don't think it's inborn. I think it could be inborn, but every skill in this life, you have to learn it from something or someone. So it's something you can develop.
I think it's both, because some people are born with the talent of oration. They can speak very well, even when they're not educated. Some, they have to learn it to know how to speak, especially if you're a public figure and you think you speak in public and all that. That's why you have schools where they teach you how to speak in public, to have confidence and all that. So some people are born with it, some people they just have to learn it.
I think it's a skill. It is a skill where people can develop it, and once they know how, they can gather the ability to do that.
It is a skill. You can learn it. You understand? You can say, I can do this, I can do that.
Our government officials, our leaders, what do you think about their speeches?
Most of them, I think they get the ones that are skilled with the public speaking to do that for them. Maybe because of their educational background. Some didn't get to finish school and all, so they are not really good in public speaking. They do more of speech, written speech. Most of them do read, and those that want to deliver 100%.
So I'll say they read it. You know, it's quite obvious, you know, it's read.
A lot of times they don't really pass the message across, and you can't blame them. You know, somebody has to walk over what they are delivering onto us, and they don't do what they ought to do. At the end of the day, they mess it up.
They are reading it, they are not delivering it. It's not, what I'm saying is that it's not purposely that probably they have it in their hand. It's possible they memorize it, or they have the point with them, they just developing one after the other. So they are reading it, they just don't deliver it. That's my belief.
They actually write speeches for most of them. Meaning some people who took their time to go to school or go to learn all of those things, I mean how to read and write or something, you understand, I write for these people and they come to read to us. You understand? Our leaders just say their mind to the guys who write, you understand now, and those guys write it for them, so they come to write another person's mind, in quotes, meaning their own thoughts must have been altered by some kind of writers or some kind of people who think they can write for the public or something. So
they just read these speeches.
They just read the speeches out. So
sometimes most of them read the speech.
I would say they deliver, because at times when you peruse what the speeches they made, at times it's not all that right with the action.
Some deliver, some read from the script they are given, some deliver it, they just speak it, you know, spontaneously from the way they feel about the topic.
They read, Neil. The majority of them read.
So, there it is. What is your opinion? Do you think public speaking is an inborn talent or a skill? Till we meet again next week, this is Eloquence. Eloquence is brought to you by the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking. Bye-bye!
Welcome to Achievers Money. Achievers Money is a show dedicated to exploring the essential skills, strategies, and the mindsets that empower individuals to achieve success in their personal and professional lives. It's a platform where viewers gain valuable insights from experts and thought leaders across various fields, learning how to overcome challenges, maximize their potential, and ultimately achieve their financial and life goals. The show delves into topics like leadership, communication, entrepreneurship, personal finance, and more, offering practical advice and inspiring stories to motivate and equip viewers for success. It's about more than just money. It's about achieving a well-rounded and fulfilling life. I am your host, Dr. Ray Echebri, and we are reaching you live from our studio at the School of Eloquence in Lagos. Today, our guest is a man with a diverse background from entertainment and real estate to logistics and manufacturing. He is also a member of a prominent royal family in Nigeria. Welcome, Kenny.
It's good to be here.
Right. Now, let's start with your experience over the years. You build businesses across various sectors and various countries. In trucking, even in manufacturing, what is your personal blueprint for turning ideas into money?
Okay, so what I always like to think of is, do I need that service or product that I plan on selling? Do I need it? And if I don't need it, do lots of other people need it? And if I don't need it and do a lot of other people don't need it, does the government say we must have it? There's a lot of things you don't need that the government requires you to have. So I pay attention to all those things, the things that people are gonna buy, whether by choice or by force. And usually I start with a personal problem and I expand from there. And one of my big rules is I never do anything alone. So I always have a partner. I don't think I've ever done any successful business without a partner. I always make sure I have a partner with me that is strong in that business.
Oh, but many
so that's my strategy.
Oh, great. But many people in Nigeria believe that partnership doesn't work here. It really works for you?
I think they're wrong, yes. I don't think anything else would work for me. If I wasn't somebody who partnered frequently by rule, I don't think I would have been able to do as many businesses. And personally, I don't think businesses work the best if it's owned by one person.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, you come from a family of public service, but you veered off that and you're creating a niche for yourself. You've created a path for yourself. How did you do that? And how do you measure impact and income?
Okay. So that I would have to edit that a little bit. So I didn't create a niche for myself. I still work in public service. I work in currently I'm the young professional council president for FIAPSHI, and what we do is literally public service. So we interact with government. We have government officials that are members. We just had our induction ceremony last week. A couple government officials were just inducted into the organization. So it's like a private-public mix, and we advocate a lot for better policy, sustainable policy with Lagos State government a lot. So I wouldn't say I've veered away from public service. I just found a way to me, I think that if you're going to be an honest politician or an honest public servant, you need to have your own money and you need to have a steady flow of income so you don't start stealing or looking at the people's money. That's the way I think. So I don't think I'll be giving that much value to the people if I'm not making sure my own bottom line is secure before deciding to be, and I think that's something my family has taken really important, I'm taking really seriously. It's been something I've been taught growing up, like make sure you have a business that sustains you, then go do whatever you want to do for the public.
Right. You brokered a whole lot of businesses in different sectors, and you are doing well in most of these deals. Now, how do you balance the long-term success of these businesses and the profitability, which of course should be the bottom line that every businessman should be looking at?
Yes, so different businesses require different mindsets. So there's some businesses that you have to come to terms with the fact that you're not going to make money today or next year or in 3 years.
Okay.
But that doesn't make it not a worthy investment. Then you have to make a business. You have to have a business that creates cash flow for you, so you have day-to-day money. That's why it's important for me to have multiple sources, you know, by way of multiple skill sets. That's the reason why I've been in so many industries, because I basically decided, like coming out of college, that I wasn't gonna be an employee of anyone, and that forced me to keep my mind open and my eyes open for opportunities. So I try to understand that in order to have long-term growth, you have to have a business that's built for long-term success. You also have to have a business that's built for short-term success so you can stay afloat.
Now, how do you now look at long-term businesses, especially when it comes to funding? You know, you may not have all the money in the world to fund that business. So how do you raise money for the long term to be able to fund those businesses?
It's been a trickier puzzle in Nigeria. In the US, money is cheap and money is easy to get. And the moment you've done a couple businesses that have even remotely succeeded, banks are usually willing to give you money. So that wasn't an issue in the US, but in Nigeria, it's a different story. But luckily, my strategy is to live significantly below my means. Again, once I made the commitment that I was always going to be an entrepreneur and never be an employee, I knew that I can't live fat when things are high. So I'm someone who always felt like if I can make $100,000 a year, and I know that there are people who are living and eating every day, but they only make $35,000 a year, then it's possible for me to make $100,000 a year and live on $38,000 a year and leave the rest for investment and long-term growth. So I set myself up to always have something I can just squeeze cash out of. It's like a plant that something that I planted 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where I know, okay, this is growing here. So basically frugality. That's my funding mechanism.
That's great. But are you saying that all the businesses you do, you get the funds through this means?
No.
Or you don't borrow?
No, so
that means you don't borrow at all.
In Nigeria,
yeah,
borrowing is just out of the question for me because the mathematics don't make sense. Except for a real estate project. That's a different story. And even then it doesn't make sense, but we can squeeze some sense out of it if we can. What I was able to do is, this is what I'm a big believer in the return home to Nigeria, but I always tell people, secure yourself there. The US is a place where they have a economic system and an economic pool that can allow you to earn some good money.
Yeah.
So as a business person, you're mostly losing. Every serious business person knows that you're losing, and then 1 or 2 good decisions are what carry you most of your business career. So the times, what I was lucky for was in the times when I had my big wins, I kept a lot of my money. You know, I know some business people who made a lot of money, way more money than me, but they don't have any money today because they did everything they felt like when they had money. And so I think I was deeply affected by the 2008 financial crisis in the US. I was in 12th grade at the time. I watched a lot of my classmates, their parents lose their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for me, my parents were okay, but I know they lost a good amount of money. It just didn't affect them as bad, but I saw people lose their property, lose their houses, people who thought they had a pension. The pension got evaporated.
Mm-hmm.
Like people had worked 35 years based on a promise, and that got obliterated by a couple of people at the top making decisions. I was 18 at the time. We were just coming into the Obama era. Then I watched Obama forgive all of them.
Yeah.
That affected me a lot mentally. And so that forced me to know that I can never, ever put myself in a position to trust the system. I watched a lot of my people. Growing up, I had friends who their parents make $300K a year, and they look like they make a lot of money, but they're spending $270K a year.
Yeah.
And so I learned from other people's mistakes. Family members, friends, just adults that I saw. And I guess I was traumatized to a certain degree. And that changed my financial viewpoint and my way of operating moving forward. So I have I'm not a disciplined person in a lot of ways, but financially I'm very disciplined.
That's great. That's great. Good to know. Now, a lot of people are not as lucky as you are. in the sense that you were able to get a whole lot of money to fund your dreams here in Nigeria from your own personal savings or maybe, some other investments that are yielding you some returns.
Yes.
But now some people have some dreams and they need to fund them. And the only advice they have, the only option they have is more or less to go to the bank to borrow.
Yes.
And the rate is in the region of 30% now. So what is your advice for those people?
Yeah, so for people in that situation, I say it's very important to, companies do this all the time, but I think human beings can start doing that, families can start doing that. First of all, do a feasibility study on the thing you're trying to, the project you're trying to embark on. Do you make enough, do you have access to enough money? Do you know people who are willing to loan it to you? And are you even comfortable taking these loans from them? I know people who would give me money today. I feel very uncomfortable taking it because I'm not gonna prospect with somebody else's money and then tell them stories. So you have to gauge your own comfort level. Some people have to come to terms with the fact that we can't do this. I need to work for a certain amount of time. Now, I say I never wanted to be an employee personally, but I'm not one of those people who speaks against it. Definitely, I know some people who were able to launch some pretty good businesses because they held on to their job for another 4 years and saved, and time, over time, you have to come to terms with your limitations. There's a lot of projects I want to take on. I want to build a skyscraper. I can't right now.
Okay.
I have to come to terms with that. One day maybe I will, but I have to build myself towards that. Come up with a plan for how you can come as close as possible to it and try your best and definitely engage in partnership as much as you can. Networking.
Great. And it's been a very interesting discussion. We need to go on break now. Okay. When we return, we continue with this very exciting and interesting discussion with Kenny. Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I found it very interesting, exciting, educative.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a lot, a whole lot.
Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Welcome back. It's still the Achievers Money, and we still have in the studio Kenny. Kenny, it's been an interesting discussion.
Definitely.
And let's continue.
Yes.
Now, it does appear you have a way of spotting where the money is. You've gone into real estate, and all over the world, real estate is a money spinner.
Yes.
And you floated Remax One Lagos. How did you come about that dream?
Well, to be honest, I've always been in real estate, from a family, so it's my family business, Remax. So what we did was we acquired the Remax franchise and now operate as Remax. So over the course of years, my father and my parents have accumulated real estate holdings. I was in charge of a number of them in Miami growing up, but during a certain point in my life, in my young adulthood, coming out of university. So it wasn't so much that I didn't come up with real estate. Like, no one can take credit for coming up with real estate. Is the oldest time. What we just did is found an appreciation for it. I don't think enough people respect real estate as much as they should. So I wouldn't say that was exactly a shrewd spot. It's just real estate is just tried and tested over time. And I think if you want to protect yourself and protect your assets for as long as possible, real estate is usually the smartest route. So I don't think I could take credit for finding something special in the market from the real estate standpoint, at least. Yeah.
Okay. Now, why did you go for franchising? Why didn't you come up with your own unique name instead of going for Remax One, which is a foreign brand?
So our perspective was, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. We have a couple of problems here in Nigeria. We have a huge trust deficit. We massively don't trust each other.
Okay.
And for good reason. Not to say that people trust each other in the U.S. The only difference is they trust the system. So you don't trust each other and you don't trust the system.
Yeah.
But what we do trust as Nigerians is established brands over time, especially when they're foreign, especially when they're American for some reason. So it's a psychological thing. So people buy with what they're used to. It's like a Nigerian, if you drop them off in the middle of the desert and you put 10 restaurants in front of them and one of them is Tantalizer, they'll probably walk into the Tantalizer. That's just what they're familiar with. That's how people are. So, and I studied data and I saw that about half the new build in Lagos between 2019 and 2022 was bought by people in the diaspora. So they're the ones with the cash who've saved up $100,000 who can convert it to Naira and invest in a property in Nigeria. And I figured it made more sense. Like, actually, my mom brought the idea to me, and, I thought about it, and I completely agreed. I looked at it like, okay, so if I can sell real estate using a brand that they already know and trust, and then they feel like there's some type of accountability, they feel like they believe that I have a great interest in not defrauding them or engaging in any kind of, untrustworthy behavior, they'll be more likely to buy with us. And they're the ones buying at the largest rate. And then also the Nigerians in Nigeria who are HNIs, who have the money to buy these properties, a lot of them are also aware of Remax from their travels and whatnot. So it just made more sense rather than reinvesting the wheel and then spending millions on establishing trust in your brand.
Okay.
I just figured just pay someone who's already done the hard work
Okay.
of establishing a brand and making it trustworthy, and then use their brand.
Okay. Does it mean that your target is Nigerians in the diaspora, not really Nigerians in Nigeria?
No, my target is not Nigerians in Nigeria. It just so happens that Nigerians in the diaspora are buying at a rate that allows you to keep your lights on, to then launch yourself to sell to the Nigerians. Because you can bring Nigerians up to speed on the brand, but who you really want to impress and target at first are the people with the money right now to keep your business afloat long enough for you to make a profit, to then market the brand to the Nigerians and then make that a Nigerian. So it's very much Remax has a great interest in having a established brand in the largest black nation in the world, with the country with the largest number of people under the age of 18 in Africa. So that's a huge group of people, future homeowners, future adults, future renters. You want to trap them, you want to catch them, but first you need those HNIs and those diaspora people to keep you afloat and keep your bills paid and keep your lights on.
From all indications, actually, you know so much about the Nigerian real estate market. What is your position, or what's your take on the Nigerian real estate market? Is it growing at the rate it's supposed to grow? Or are there impediments, if it is not growing at the rate it's supposed to grow? Are there impediments, things that are not making it to grow at the rate it's supposed to grow?
It's it's kind of a half and half answer. So it's growing at a good rate. The amount community, that's 100 billion Naira worth of real estate that's unused because the owners in Lagos or Abuja or in the US or in London or wherever they live. Lagos, same thing, a lot of like land banking, real estate banking. So there's a lot of unoccupied units in Ikoyi, VI. We have a shortage of affordable housing, which is making the price of housing inflated, which is good for like the real estate professionals as it is now. I don't think it's a good formula for the polity at large. We need a lot more affordable housing. In order to make affordable housing, we would have to get into way more creative ways of debt. They would have to make debt cheaper. They would have to create debt cheaper. They would have to create, using different financial mechanisms, create a way to allow the average Nigerian to be able to one day own a home. There's many Nigerians who rented for years and years and years and had to save up for 30 years just to finally build a house. If you're working, if you can keep a job for 30 years and it's a solid job, you should be able to own a house, in my viewpoint. There's many teachers, university professors, many people, civil servants. Maybe they won't have the house they want, but you should be able to own a property that's yours, that you can give to your kids when you die.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very doable if we're willing to be creative, like financially, private sector and public sector working together.
So in Nigeria, mortgage is an issue?
Mortgage is a huge issue in Nigeria. It's a very huge issue.
And what do you suggest, what are the ways we can get around that?
Okay, personally, I think that the bank or banks who are willing to bet on the housing market are gonna win. There's a thing called REOs. So banks have the ability to engage in the business of REOs. So basically, look, many banks in Nigeria don't want to get into the real estate business.